How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today it's a bit of a big one. That's what she said, of course. Yeah, I'm going to do a town movie set. It's a contract, it's in the middle set, and it can be done in a simpler way than I'm doing it, but I've got good reason for it. So the reason I've got like a Burlak and a generator trailer, the ANK and a ramped flatbed, a Transtar and a step deck, and then Dolphin with the small log carrier. The sunset coloured loaf, he's chilling. He's retired. He dragged a P16 up a mountain twice the other day, so he's done. Yeah, you got to do the mission. Like, there's where you got to take the stuff to, like the movie set, and you need 2 beams and 6 planks. So you could go to that yard to get 2 beams. That's very simple. And then these houses, kind of along the left, or where you can like poach wood from. Yeah, I believe you get 2 pieces of wood per one, so you need 3 of them. But there's also a sawmill down here, so I'm going to take the Burlak and the ANK, drop a generator trailer off there, park the ANK up there, take the Dolphin over here to the log station and get small logs, like 1 load of small logs, go back to the sawmill, trade them in for wooden planks, 6 of them, drive the ANK to there, get the Transtar and then meet that up as a road train, grab 2 lots of metal beams which I'll put on the Transtar, and then drive up to the top there. And yeah, one way or another, I know you can poach like the wood off those houses, but for whatever reason, I like, if I can help it, just to sort of leave them on the map. There's a bit more scenery. But the other thing is, I'm assuming one way or another, at some point they're going to want you to take a generator trailer to this sawmill. I've done it in the my mod playthrough, but yeah, I just haven't got around to it yet. So I thought it was one of the things I found where the Burlak, in theory, at least for a small part of the mission, it's already understeering like mad, would be able, it would actually let me have a generator trailer. And yeah, for whatever reason, it's already slower than the ANK in road train mode. And yeah, this vehicle, I gotta be honest, it completely sucks balls. I've tried so many times to not even give it a pass, but give it another chance or whatever. Yeah, you can see it tipped immediately. In the end, I quit and reloaded. I easily could have got out of it, and the loaf got out of it. Like, it was all good. It was just, I was like, no, I just want to see if I can have like a less horrific attempt, like half a second after I went off-roading. I'd already managed to roll it. Yeah, I've still got to do a bloody gameplay and review on this thing as well. It's just not very good. I don't know how the hell they put it into the game as weak as it is. There'll be a couple of good examples coming up in a minute, to be honest. I was amazed at this point. I mean, it's in sort of road train mode, but I thought the ANK would have already been like smashing up against the back of the generator and sort of pushing me along. Now, in its defence, even though it's gutless, this rock section, like where the front of the generator is caught on, is just awkward here. They must have known we're going to drive off this way, because it's just makes sense to go to the sawmill this way, for the most part, ish. I'll stand by that decision, based on the fact that it's kind of an off-roading game, pick the way you want to go. Yeah, they've kind of left a lane in, but it's just slightly too narrow, and the hitboxes on those rocks are pretty terrible. And it's not the first, I caught this generator trailer, I caught another truck the other day, it's just, yeah, a bit awkward. But yeah, look how weak and crap. Like, look, we hit a little rock that's, what, like 1,000th of the size of the generator, and this thing, even though it's apparently got all-wheel drive on, half the wheels aren't spinning, and it can't even drive. The generator trailer weighs as much as an empty bag of crisps, let alone like if it actually weighed what a generator would weigh. Yeah, so it didn't. I already knew it, but yeah, they've updated the game today, and I believe as well, I kind of a bit late to get on it tonight, so I'll do it for tomorrow. I believe they've added a new vehicle, a new Kenworth, so yeah, I'll get a look on that. Was it yesterday, the update? I can't even remember. Was it tonight or yesterday? I think, well, it's the same thing. It kind of changes as it goes midnight. There's kind of 2 days every day for me. I think it was sort of yesterday slash earlier for me. Whichever day it was, I remember. It sounds like I'm talking it like it was a month ago. I was going to do, funnily enough, the gameplay and review for the Burlak, and then it wanted to update the game, and then I got sidetracked. like clean and wash all my neck curtains, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so I never got around to that. But like I say, I've been kind of wanting to use the Burlak in some kind of mission. Yeah, very quickly realised it's a bag of shit, so I jumped in the ANK. I believe I towed it some of the way, but then I think when I was getting to the trees, I was just like, I'll just split the road train up and yeah, just drive them over separately, because even to try and get through those trees, I already know what's going to happen. And yeah, this river section, I don't know if it's got slightly deeper, that's what she said, or I'm not sure, but yeah, I was crossing over here the other week, even the Lo4f, but the Neo Falcon, I've crossed over in trucks, and for some reason tonight it feels extra meaty, extra deep, and extra strong. Like the current ain't taking any prisoners. Yeah, as well, this bloody box got in the way. Typical. I also honestly think, and I'm not just saying this, tonight I felt like low end when you're setting off, there's a lack of power going on in the game. I'm convinced they've done something when they've updated it, which they usually seem to do. Even if I'm paranoid that they might do such a thing, that doesn't mean that they're not doing it. And it certainly feels like they are. Yeah, that's, I don't know, it wouldn't amaze me if they've slightly tampered with and weakened the lower end, because I'm sure this ANK used to be an absolute beast for, like, especially once you stick it in high gear. Oh yeah, but I mean, look, it can't even power all its wheels. The only upside I kind of found, once you take that thing off the back, I was able to wedge a Lo4f on there, which, if you leave the thing on the back, you can just put a Lo4f on the roof, but I kind of wanted to check. This is the actual Burlak that I've attempted to do a gameplay and review on about 3 times already. See that tree though? For the most part, well, until we got past it, I was about to tip, the Lo4f propped up against it, and yeah. Again, this Burlak, it's just, the weight distribution on it is pretty horrific. I've edited a lot of this out, because to be honest, this video would have been pretty long if I kind of left a lot of the sidetrack messing around things in. Yeah, in the end, the bailout was just terrible. I had to send the Lo4f in, as usual. Get yourself a Lo4f. He gets the job done. He helps maintain my sanity. What little bit I'm hanging on to. Yeah, I had to shove this thing out the way, and then this is just an example. One, I mean the horse. He's got some horsepower. Yeah, I was like, just sod off, get in the river. It wouldn't tip over, it just kept sliding around on its side. Even when I was kind of pushing it over these rocks that I'm backing up to. Again, I just cut the footage out because I could just explain it. Yeah, it reminded me of the R87, where it just didn't really want to tip. And yeah, it just sucks in general. Has no power. It can't do half the missions on this map based on the fact that it can't have 2 of the most important handy trailers that you could have, being the ramped flatbed and the logging trailer. And yeah, I was having a good old time in the Lo4f. I stuck that Burlak in the river, and that will live there now. I'll go and buy and build another one to do the, or at least attempt, 4th time lucky odd on the gameplay and review. I will actually try and get that done pretty soon. Tomorrow I will, I'll get this new Kenworth. To be honest, I'd be a lot more, I might even just skip, well, not skip the Burlak, I will, it's on the list. There's a few other ones. I've still got the bloody K7M from 2 phases ago that I need to do a gameplay and review on that as well. Like, I want to get them all done, just so I've got every vehicle kind of ticked off as far as that goes. But yeah, I might actually just, if this new truck or whatever, I might just let that be the next one I do a gameplay review. Long story short, as I was trying to turn, what is it, right, and the current got me and started whipping me away, but the Lo4f is a goddamn professional, so just for my own curiosity, I kind of left him float down the river a bit, fired up when I could smell a tree nearby, and yeah, and again, his goddamn horse, just because the river wanted to steal him, doesn't mean I'm going to let him. And yeah, well, it's the day after now, but I believe it was Thanksgiving yesterday, / still today for people who are behind enough in the time zone. So yeah, Thanksgiving. I am thankful for my life. It's goddamn professional. Yeah, at this point, I didn't even... I looked through the footage myself to try and work out. I was in the river. I remember my cat jumped up, and then I looked around and I was like, oh yeah, shit. I was in the river and I just wasn't paying attention for about a minute, and the current started taking my loaf off again. So instead of basically doing the same thing I just did again, I just quit and reloaded, and then it loaded back up, as you can see, where for some reason the sun was nearly set. And yeah, it's just, I was kind of... You can see where it loaded me back up. It's basically where I was a few minutes ago anyway. And then yeah, I drove forward. Whoa. The thing that actually swept me off originally wasn't really that I was trying to turn right. I was actually, because the current's so stupidly strong and the trailer was stuck on a rock, I was kind of testing my own theory that I wanted to drag the trailer nearer to me, but it was being awkward about it. But then I thought, right, okay game, I'll stick the loaf in reverse, and I'll reverse at the trailer to see if I can like counter the current by using the stuck trailer to kind of pull me on the winch. And yeah, as soon as the game realised like, oh shit, he's actually trying to fight against the current, it released the trailer and I started going forwards quite efficiently, to the point where I missed my chance to turn right. That was actually the longer explanation. Yeah, again, a bit of editing, but I needed to for my own peace of mind, that I wasn't going to let that Burlak get this this generator trailer where it needed to be. I had faith in the loaf. I wonder how many fences I have actually broken with the loaf. I just random, but I wish there was like a little counter in the game, because that army base on White Valley alone, I would owe them about an airport's worth of fences. Yeah, so you can see my ANK was on the left. There's also a Taiga was just sat there from a previous mission. Ended up kind of working out to be pretty handy, because I just purposely wanted to leave that Burlak upside down in the river. You see though, a year or two from now, I might have to look back on this map for some reason, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that Burlak upside down in the river. I remember. I remember the day I realised that belongs there. Well, I'd already realised it a while ago, to be honest. I've driven the Burlak a few times off screen, and yeah, it's pretty crap. I think it might actually compete for one of the most terrible vehicles in the game, and I could at least excuse something a bit more like that Gore by 4 thing or whatever they added in Burning Mill, because at least that's a tiny little vehicle that, yeah, the Burlak has gigantic monster tyres and all the rest of it, and it's just, it reminds me of my first car that couldn't even power its own 17-inch alloys because it just didn't have enough engine power. It's like, had the power of a pencil sharpener or something. But anyway, we're back to the good stuff now. See, I'm in a Dolphin. Things are getting better. So I've got to go and get the small logs. And yeah, at least I can put my foot down a bit. But I'd argue, say for example, and I already knew this before, like I knew the Burlak sucked and all the rest of it. I was just trying to incorporate it into a mission because it's this phases, or one of them, the vehicles. Yeah, say for example if I built a Dolphin and taken that instead of the Burlak, that mission I just did would have been, I don't know, like, or that part of the mission would have been 2 minutes or something. It's a pretty rapid drive from the garage to like crossing that river. The Dolphin definitely would have had enough power and weight and all the rest of it to get over there. Like the ANK, if I remember correctly, does that like to float? I believe it does. Certainly more than the Dolphin. Yeah, I would have got across that river easily. And then climbing up here, I nearly just started autopilot kind of driving towards the gateway. I just remembered at the last second, I was like, oh yeah, log station is this way. And the Dolphin, it couldn't even make that turn. I just floored it at that point. I was like, right, everything's getting damaged. Even though I've managed to edit it down to like, what are we now, 14 minutes in. Yeah, probably more like a good 2 hours, 40 minutes of messing around. But I don't know. It's certainly me a lot as well. I do get sidetracked a lot. And yeah, I just had a moment of like, left or right. I didn't have any waypoints for this bit because I'd already kind of drawn it to show the route I was going to go with the ANK. But I already knew the log station was over here, done a couple of runs. Funnily enough, yeah, it was, I'm sure it was when the live stream ended, but I didn't realise, so I was still playing for like another 15-20 minutes. I believe after I dropped some stuff off with that truck I was driving when the live stream ended, I had to go and get some logs just after. Dolphin actually took that jump pretty well. I mean, it landed hard, but it didn't try and tip or anything. It's been low trained. Yeah, sadly that tree has not been low trained. It was unkillable. One day we might update it so we can kill every tree. I'm telling you, all these maps will be bold. I am stubborn enough. I will take the time. Might not be this map. Just depends which map I'm hostile towards when that update happens. If it ever does. Wishful thinking. Again, someone did add a mod ages ago that was like you could rip tree stumps out of the ground apparently, but I gave it a go and I never managed to get one out. I mean, I don't even know if the mod still exists, but I mean, fair play to whoever, even if it ended up not working out and they removed the mod. I appreciate the attempt. The attempt was made to rip tree stumps out. Yeah, I was going to kind of climb up this bank. I've done it before in a Dolphin as well. I was like, nah, I can't be bothered, but it was just like, yeah. I also kind of was eyeballing this bit over to the left where is the sensible way to go around, and every single time I come over this way I always try and drive up those rocks, and I have got it on video before, so yeah, whilst I got stuck and it scuffed the bumper, I was just like, do you know what, I'll actually, for once, I'll go around the way you're supposed to, just to show myself more than anyone that if I don't dick around every 5 minutes and try and pick the most awkward routes possible, then yeah. Because let's be honest, if I did try and get at those rocks, right now, I'd be face first against some rocks, flooring a Dolphin, and I'd have no regrets, but that is probably what I'll be doing right about now. And yeah, I have to say as well, even with the logs on, this Dolphin's feeling very nice and stable and planted. Even though it always did, even when I did that jump and kind of landed hard on the nose of the Dolphin, it didn't try and tip at all, been flying around the corners, bumping on those rocks. Yeah. There's a reason this is my all-round kind of favourite truck in the game. I still will agree and accept that the Zik 605R, there's plenty of missions, particularly longer range missions, if there's no fuel stations I can work into it and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's a very good truck, it's objectively good, it's got plenty of pulling power, nice big tyres, it's got roof rack, room for a loaf on the roof. It's probably not got as many like add-ons as you can on this, but for the most part you can kind of work around it. But yeah, the Dolphin is it's just a good vehicle. So yeah, basically I had to kind of put the generator on to make this crafting zone possible, drop the logs off, and like per load of short logs you get 3 sort of individual logs. Cash those in, each of them are worth 2 wooden planks. So yeah, one run is like you get 6 wooden planks effectively. You obviously got to trade like a little bit of fuel from the generator, but they're actually very generous with the amount of fuel you have to use on this mission. It's tiny compared to what it's been in previous phases. So yeah, trade those 3 logs in, turn them into 6 planks, 4 on the ramped flatbed, 2, yeah, I mean, the ANK I was just kind of flicking down on vehicles I don't often use. It wasn't, originally I actually had an ANK civilian kind of higher up in the garage list. I found that, but then realised I could do with a sideboard, but then I'd already kind of, I liked the idea of taking the ANK out, so yeah, I went and got this version instead of the civilian one. But I mean, I get sort of ish why they've done it, but they don't really need 2 ANKs. The civilian version just has the sideboard cock blocked from it, and this has everything else cock blocked from it. If you just merge them together into one truck, and I don't know, say offered a military camo to make it like a military looking truck, that would yeah, make more sense. It'd also be nice if this truck could have a crane. And just throwing it out there, by the way, just because I said that, the ANK civilian may well be able to have a crane. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I bet it can. But it can't have a crane on the sideboard, because this is the version that could have the sideboard, but this can't have anything else. So even if it hypothetically could have a crane, it's not going to offer it. Apparently at some point as well I've blown a tyre. I don't know when I did, but it's all good. I'll admit it's driving pretty nicely, considering it has got a blown tyre. And unless they've kind of tweaked something in the update, which I doubt, because it just feels too much of a good thing, I don't think they'd let that slip through the net. But way back, the tyres used to, you'd pop a tyre and it might slow you down a tiny bit, but you'd barely even notice it really. And then they updated it at some point, like probably a good year or two ago now, to where it was actually quite like, you blow a tyre in it, you feel it, it really was like it stuck the handbrake on your truck. Yeah, I don't know which tyre I've blown on the ANK, but felt pretty good. It was driving along pretty nicely. And then yeah, the other truck, I kind of got out this Transtar, is it like the 4070? It's just, like, it's rare you ever get a chance to bring this truck out really, because not only is it a full-on like highway vehicle, but as you can see, it's a very small truck as well, meaning everything's kind of scaled that it's very big to this truck anyway. And yeah, this was just one of the few missions where I've already done all the messing around with the Burlak, the ANK and the Dolphin. This part of it I just needed to, yeah, once I was driving sort of past the nearest point with the ANK, send it in to do a road train, and I'm already going past this warehouse, which again, there's multiple options on this map as well to get metal beams, but near where I've got to go and drop all this stuff off, there is a warehouse nearby that says metal beams, but it only has one and you need two. So yeah, long story short, I mean, it's definitely advisable to just take a generator trailer to this warehouse and just like, yeah, get loads of cargo built nice and early, because it's got metal beams and metal rolls here, and they're kind of a pretty consistent feature of stuff you need to deliver on this phase. So instead of driving here, there and everywhere and trying to scavenge little bits, just double checking quickly that it's definitely metal beams. Yeah, like I said ages ago, I built just loads of them, so I don't have to keep turning that bloody generator trailer on every time I want to grab another couple. That's what she said. And yeah, funnily enough, there's a mission as well, I noticed, that you've got to grab a generator trailer and take it over to that warehouse. But I'm pretty certain I just spawned my own one from the trailer store and then took it there. But I don't know, if you're on hard mode or something, I hear the trailers and that are pretty expensive on there, and I don't think you can sell them back or whatever, so it'd probably be advisable to do the generator mission, and yeah, at least then you've got like a free generator. Yeah, can you see now I'm steering fully, and it was only then when I let off the throttle. I was actually starting to enjoy this like what I already was, but obviously I'm towing the, I decided to let this be the lead vehicle just because it's very rare I get this out, so I thought it'd be a bit of a waste just to tow it with the ANK and then this thing's in the background. But as I'm pulling now, you can kind of see that the front's lifting up, and yeah, when you've got enough like momentum and power going, it's actually doing like a slight wheelie, and the wheels aren't necessarily quite touching the ground. But I was quite enjoying it, because it reminded me of like tractor pulling, which I used to watch loads as a kid, because we didn't have Sky or anything, and then at some point we had like a I don't know, a chipped version of a Skybox that my real dad gave us at some point until it got blocked or whatever. But yeah, for a window of time we had this Skybox, and one of the few things we could get on it was Eurosport. And at like 2 in the morning, yeah, they'd have tractor pulling on. I quite liked it, to be honest. But that's what just this kept reminding me. I mean, you can see now, like the front end's just sitting up quite high, which, to be honest, you'd think being a cab over, and that's kind of got the whole cab, the engine and everything sat right at the front of the vehicle. But for whatever reason, well, I suppose because I'm pulling the ANK, the vehicle, the rear wheels are kind of offering the power. Not that I don't think it would change the situation too much, even if it was all-wheel drive. But yeah, I suppose the rear tyres are kind of trying to drive out from under the trailer, and they're kind of forcing the whole truck to do a bit of a wheelie. You could see again then as I was trying to go around that corner. Yeah, have to keep sort of blipping the throttle. Oh my god, I didn't even realise it glitched there. Long story short, I went around the corner. I kind of could see the ANK was going to catch. I did release the winch, but it already kind of twanged and yeah, flicked me over to the side. Interestingly though, the truck didn't actually tip and kind of sat like this. And what I wanted to do was use the winch to flip the loaf, and then I was going to try and push the metal beams onto the trailer while I was kind of on an angle like that. But one of the few times, it's typical, I actually wanted the truck to stay kind of like tipped over. It got itself back to its wheels, just like when I got in it and steered a bit, it just jiggled itself, yeah, and tipped back, which, like, I'm certainly not going to hold it against it, because 99.9% of the time I would be grateful for that. It's just typical that the, yeah, 1 in 1,000 times that I would like it to stay tipped, it didn't. So I was going to push the metal beams on. You can see though, I mean, again, I was going to do it when the trailer was tipped. I put the ANK in the way just so it wouldn't just slide the trailer sideways, and yeah, the loaf's got that much horsepower. It nearly tipped the metal beams, the trailer, and the ANK, and the ramp flatbed. So in the end, again, I was just like, I won't bait myself into another hour of sitting there messing around doing all sorts of stuff. So I just drove the ANK, dropped 6 wooden planks off, and then thankfully just round the corner where I dropped that movie set trailer off, I had the Ford Click 9000 that has got a crane on it. I can't even remember now off the top of my head. Do we have to do some other thing in the mission when we took the trailer there? Or did I just put a crane on for the hell of it? I'm glad I did, because as you can see, it was like it's in the same location, dropping everything off at this movie set. Yeah, my Transtar doesn't have a crane on it. My ANK can't. So yeah, it's pretty lucky this truck was here. Otherwise, 2 options I suppose: quit and reload method, or I'll have to go back to a garage. Well, I could have happily, time permitting and all the rest of it, that's the thing. If I could pause time and just mess around as much as I wanted, the loaf would have got the metal beams on the trailer. The only reason I wasn't too bothered about, I don't know, proving that point to myself is, one, I've done it a ridiculous amount of times before, and secondly, I remember, at least on one of the videos, what the hell, I think my cat just pressed the TV with his own foot, and now I can't. It's brought a menu up. Where's my remote? He tried to lick his own foot and just pressed. You know, like the TV has got buttons that aren't really buttons. You just sort of press them and they work. I don't even know. Return. Oh, that's good. I didn't even know I had a menu button on the TV. He's goddamn professional. He just figured it out for me. Yeah, I would have got the metal beams on. A mission ages ago, I flipped a Colob with an 8-slot trailer and put 4 metal beams back on it with a loaf. So I've officially ticked that off the list that he's on footage. It's confirmed. He's on footage. He's on video. There is footage. Yeah, money wise, how much is it? 7.5, I think. Not terrible. Again, I could have done the mission quicker if I went and poached some of the wood, but I just thought as well, you guys, you might not have that option anymore. You might have used it for previous stuff, so yeah, I wanted to do it this way. But anyway, that's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get a loaf because he's a goddamn beast, and I'll be back soon.